The morning of March 18, 1945, breaks cold and grey over RAF Deenathorpe in Northamptonshire, England. Frost clings to the wings of 23 B-17 flying fortresses lined up on the tarmac like sleeping giants. Their aluminum skin glows dull in the pre-dawn light. Engines are silent. Ground crews move between them with practiced efficiency, loading belts of .50 caliber ammunition, checking oxygen systems, running final diagnostics on the Norden bomb sites. Inside the operations briefing room, smoke hangs thick in the air. 78 men sit on wooden benches, faces illuminated by the harsh light of overhead bulbs. They wear leather jackets over wool uniforms. Some smoke cigarettes. Others stare at nothing. The room smells of coffee, sweat, and aviation fuel. At the front, a canvas curtain covers a large map. Everyone knows what comes next. Major William Bull Hancock stands beside the curtain. He's 32 years old, broad-shouldered, with a square jaw and eyes that have seen too much. 27 missions. Silver Star. Distinguished Flying Cross. A legend in the 401st Bombardment Group. His crew worships him. His squadron follows him into hell and back. But this morning, something is different. Lieutenant Robert "Bobby" Sinclair sits in the third row. 24 years old. Co-pilot on the B-17 designated Lucky Strike. Brown hair, lean build, quiet demeanor. 18 missions completed. He watches Hancock carefully. There's a tremor in the major's hand as he grips the edge of the table. Barely visible. But it's there. The group commander, Colonel Anderson, pulls the curtain aside. The red line on the map stretches deep into Germany. Target, the synthetic oil refinery at Ruhland, southeast of Berlin. 280 miles into enemy territory. Flak corridors. Luftwaffe fighter bases. The most heavily defended industrial zone in the Reich. Gentlemen, Anderson begins, his voice flat and measured, this is a maximum effort mission. We're part of a 1,000-plane raid. Your formation will hit Ruhland at 0930 hours. Expected resistance is severe. Flak will be murderous. Intel suggests me 262 jets may be active in the area. The room goes quieter. The Me-262. 200 miles per hour faster than anything the Allies have. Armed with 430mm cannons that can shred AB-17 in seconds. Major Hancock will lead the formation, Anderson continues. Standard box formation. Altitude 24,000 feet. Weather over target is forecast as clear. No excuses. We need that refinery destroyed. Hancock steps forward. His voice is strong, confident. We're going in tight. I want wingtip discipline. Gunners stay alert. We lose formation, we die alone. Stay with me, and we all come home. The men nod. They believe him. They always have. Bobby Sinclair shifts in his seat. Something gnaws at him. Hancock's right hand is gripping the pointer too hard. His knuckles are white. At 6:45 hours, engines roar to life. The sound is apocalyptic. 92 Wright R-1820 Cyclone engines, each producing 1,200 horsepower, turning propellers that bite into the freezing air. The ground vibrates. Exhaust smoke billows across the field. Bobby climbs through the belly hatch of Lucky Strike. Inside, the air is cold and smells of oil and metal. The bombardier, Lieutenant Frank Morrison, is already in the nose. The navigator, Lieutenant James Chen, hunches over his charts. The engineer, Sergeant Mike O'Reilly, checks the fuel gauges. The radio operator, Sergeant Tommy Walsh, tests the equipment. 4 gunners, Daniels, Hughes, Ramirez, and young Patterson, load their weapons. Captain Ed Larson, the pilot and aircraft commander, settles into the left seat. Bobby takes the right. They run the checklist together, voices calm and mechanical. Flaps. Set for takeoff. Trim. Neutral. Fuel mixture. Auto rich. At 7:12 hours, Hancock's B-17, Dakota Queen, rolls first. It accelerates down the runway, tail lifting, wheels leaving concrete. One by one, the formation follows. Lucky Strike is number 7. The plane shudders, gains speed, and breaks free from the earth. They climb into the steel sky. Over the English Channel, the formation assembles. 23 bombers in a combat box, staggered altitudes, overlapping fields of fire. Hancock's Dakota Queen flies lead. Lucky Strike is in the high squadron, port side, 300 yards back. Bobby watches through the cockpit window. The bomber ahead is close enough to see the waist gunner's face. The machine guns bristle from every position. Below, the gray water churns. Above, contrails streak the sky like chalk on a blackboard. Captain Larson's voice crackles over the intercom. "Navigator, give me a heading." Chen responds immediately. "Course 120 degrees. ETA to German border, 42 minutes. The engines drone. The cold seeps through the fuselage. At 20,000 feet, the temperature is 30 below zero. The men wear heated suits, but it's never enough. Bobby scans the instruments. Oil pressure normal. Cylinder head temperature steady. Fuel consumption on target. Everything by the book. But his eyes keep drifting to Hancock's bomber ahead. The Major is flying erratically. Small deviations. A slight drop in altitude. A shallow bank that corrects too quickly. Nothing drastic. But wrong. "You seeing that?" Bobby asks Larson quietly. Larson frowns. "Yeah. Turbulence, maybe." There's no turbulence. They cross into Belgium. Below, the scarred earth is a patchwork of bomb craters and ruined villages. Ahead, the sky darkens. Not with clouds. With something worse. Sergeant Walsh's voice cuts through the intercom, tense and urgent. Radio traffic. German controllers vectoring fighters. Multiple contacts inbound. Bobby's pulse quickens. He scans the horizon. Nothing yet. But they're coming. At 8:47 hours, the first bursts of flak erupt below the formation. Black puffs of smoke appear like deadly flowers, blooming and fading. The sound reaches them seconds later, dull thumps that shake the airframe. Shrapnel rattles against the aluminum skin. Flak. O'Reilly shouts. Heavy concentration, 12 o'clock level. The formation tightens. Hancock's bomber holds steady now, plowing through the barrage. Lucky Strike follows. The flak intensifies. The sky becomes a nightmare of smoke and metal. Then Bobby sees it. A cluster of dots, high and to the left. Sunlight glints off canopies. Fighters! The top turret gunner screams. 9 o'clock high. Focke-Wulfs. 10 of them. The German planes dive like hawks. FW-190s, sleek and deadly, their radial engines screaming. They come in fast, cannon fire winking from their wings. The bombers' guns answer. 50 caliber tracers arc across the sky. The noise is deafening. Engines, guns, explosions. AB-17 in the low squadron takes a direct hit. Its right wing folds, flames erupting. It spins out of formation, trailing smoke. No parachutes. Bobby's hands grip the yoke. His breath comes in short gasps. This is the test. This is where men break or hold. Hancock's voice crackles over the command frequency, steady and calm. Hold formation. Gunners, pick your targets. We're not breaking. The fighters make another pass. Closer this time. Bobby sees the black crosses on their wings, the blur of the propellers, the face of a German pilot for a split second before he flashes past. More flak. More fighters. The sky is chaos. And through it all, Bobby watches Hancock's bomber. It's flying perfectly now, leading them through the storm. But deep in Bobby's gut, a cold certainty forms. Something is wrong with Bull Hancock. And before this mission ends, it's going to cost them all. The sky ahead burns. The formation presses on. The worst is yet to come. At 9:04 hours, the formation penetrates deeper into German airspace. The landscape below transforms into a grid of industrial sprawl, factories, rail yards, rivers of smoke rising from chimneys. This is the heart of the Third Reich's war machine, and it fights back with savage precision. The flak intensifies. The gunners on the ground have the formation's altitude and speed dialed in perfectly. Black explosions bracket the bombers, close enough that Bobby can feel the concussive force rocking Lucky Strike. Shrapnel pings against the fuselage like hail on a tin roof. Taking hits. O'Reilly shouts from the engineer's position behind the cockpit. Number 3 engine oil pressure dropping. Larson's jaw tightens. Can we maintain? For now. But if it gets worse, we'll have to feather it. Bobby keys the intercom. All positions, damage report. The responses come in rapid succession. Ball turret, superficial damage. Tail, 2 small holes, no hydraulics hit. Waist, 1 oxygen line severed, repair in progress. They're lucky. So far. Ahead, Hancock's Dakota Queen holds the lead position like a ship breaking through a storm. The other bombers cluster around it, maintaining the tight defensive box that keeps them alive. Gunners traverse their weapons constantly, searching for the next threat. Then Bobby notices it again. Hancock's bomber drifts slightly to the right, then overcorrects to the left. The movements are small, almost imperceptible to anyone not watching closely. But Bobby has flown formation for 18 missions. He knows what steady looks like. This isn't it. Sir, Bobby says quietly to Larson, look at Dakota Queen. Watch the lead. Larson observes for 30 seconds. His expression darkens. Jesus! He's porpoising. Altitudes fluctuating 20, maybe 30 feet. You think he's wounded? I don't know. But something's off. On the command frequency, Hancock's voice remains calm and authoritative. All aircraft, this is Dakota Lead. Maintain altitude to 4,000. Fighter escort should rendezvous in 8 minutes. Stay sharp. The words are perfect. The delivery is flawless. But Bobby hears something underneath. A faint strain. A tightness. Lieutenant Chen's voice breaks through Bobby's thoughts. IP in 6 minutes. Bomb run will be straight and level, heading 095 degrees for 4 minutes. Bombardier, you'll have control. Morrison responds from the nose. Roger. Norden sight is calibrated. I've got the target coordinates. 4 minutes. 240 seconds of flying straight into the teeth of the German air defense network. No evasive action. No turning. Just steady, level flight while the flak gunners below take their time and aim carefully. It's the most dangerous part of any mission. At 9:14 hours, the fighter escort arrives. 8 P-51 Mustangs, their silver bodies gleaming, circle the formation like guardian angels. Their presence is reassuring but limited. They can drive off German fighters, but they can't stop the flak. Bobby watches one of the Mustangs slide past the cockpit window, close enough to see the pilot's leather helmet. The fighter pilot gives a quick salute, then peels away to take up position. The formation reaches the initial point. Bomb doors open, Hancock orders. 23 sets of bomb bay doors hinge downward. The wind resistance increases. The bombers slow slightly. The bellies of the B-17s reveal their deadly cargo, 42 500-pound bombs per aircraft, almost 900 bombs total, enough to obliterate 6 city blocks. "Bombardier has control," Morrison announces from the nose of Lucky Strike. His eye is pressed to the Norden bomb site, hands on the controls, making microscopic adjustments. The sky explodes. The Germans know exactly where the formation will be for the next 4 minutes. Every flak battery in the region opens fire. The barrage is apocalyptic. Hundreds of 88mm shells detonate in a curtain of black smoke and red fire. The air becomes solid with shrapnel. AB-17 in the low squadron takes a direct hit. The explosion is instantaneous. The bomber disintegrates, pieces spinning away. 75,000 pounds of metal, fuel, and bombs erupts in a fireball. No survivors. Bobby's hands are locked on the yoke, holding Lucky Strike steady despite every instinct screaming to dive, to turn, to run. Larsen's breathing is audible over the intercom, rapid and shallow. Another bomber is hit. This one in the right squadron. The entire tail section shears away. The plane tumbles end over end. Bobby sees 3 parachutes deploy before it disappears into the smoke below. Hancock's voice cuts through the chaos, louder now, more forceful. "Hold steady. Hold your positions. We're almost there." But Bobby sees it clearly now. Dakota Queen is no longer flying level. The nose dips 5 degrees, then rises 8. The wings rock slightly, left then right. The other bombers in the lead element struggle to maintain formation with an aircraft that's become unpredictable. "Larsen," Bobby says urgently, "we need to report this." "Report what?" "That our squadron leader is having a bad day? In the middle of a bomb run? It's more than that. Look at him." Before Larsen can respond, Morrison's voice rings out. "Bombs away." The aircraft lurches upward as 4 tons of ordnance drops free. Across the formation, nearly 900 bombs fall in a deadly rain. Bobby imagines them tumbling through the air, fins stabilizing their descent, fuses armed and waiting. "Bomb doors closed," Larsen announces. "Get us the hell out of here, Chen." Heading 270 degrees, the navigator responds. Rally point in 12 minutes. The formation begins its turn, banking left to exit the target area. This is when they're most vulnerable. The defensive box breaks apart momentarily as aircraft adjust position. That's when Hancock makes his first critical error. Instead of a smooth, coordinated turn, Dakota Queen banks hard to the right. 30 degrees. 40. The bomber rolls in the wrong direction, cutting across the formation's path. "What the hell?" Larsen shouts. 3 B-17s break formation to avoid collision. The defensive box fragments. Gaps appear. And the Me-262s arrive. They come from above and behind, 2 of them, silver shapes moving impossibly fast. Their jet engines scream like banshees. They don't turn or maneuver, they simply accelerate straight through the formation, cannons firing. The lead jet's 30mm rounds tear into AB-17 in the high squadron. The shells are enormous, each one capable of punching through an engine block. They walk up the fuselage in a line of explosions. The bomber shudders, slows, and falls away, trailing smoke. The second jet targets Hancock's Dakota Queen. Bobby watches in horror as cannon rounds impact the bomber's left wing. Pieces of aluminum rip away. The No. 2 engine explodes in a geyser of flame. Fire streams back along the wing, orange and furious. But Hancock doesn't feather the engine. He doesn't activate the fire suppression. He doesn't do anything. The bomber continues flying, one engine burning, the wing beginning to melt. "Dakota lead, you're on fire!" someone shouts over the radio. "Feather No. 2. Fire suppression." No response. Bull, your wings burning. Get out of there. Still nothing. Bobby's mind races. The other bombers are reforming, trying to re-establish the defensive box, but with Hancock flying erratically and on fire, it's impossible. They're exposed. Vulnerable. Another call on the radio, this one from Captain Rusty Miller in Memphis Mama, the deputy lead bomber. Dakota lead, if you can't maintain position, break off. We'll take lead. Hancock's voice finally responds. But it's different now. Slower. Slurred slightly. Negative. Negative Memphis. I have control. Bobby's blood runs cold. He's hypoxic, he says to Larson. His oxygen system must be damaged. He doesn't know where he is. Larson stares ahead, face pale. Or he's in shock. Either way, he's going to kill them all. Dakota Queen's fire spreads. The wing is half consumed now. Flames lick toward the fuselage. The bomber drops altitude, forcing the formation to descend with it or leave their leader behind. And then Hancock does the unthinkable. He turns back toward the target. The burning B-17 banks left, heading east, deeper into Germany, straight back into the flak zone they just escaped. What is he doing? Morrison gasps from the nose. 6 bombers follow him. Their crews, trained to stay with their leader no matter what, instinctively match his turn. They don't question. They obey. They're flying back into hell. Bobby watches them go. 6 B-17s following a burning plane piloted by a man who doesn't know he's leading them to their deaths. Captain Miller's voice erupts over the radio. All aircraft, do not follow Dakota lead. Reform on Memphis Mama. Do not follow. But 3 of the 6 don't hear it, or don't believe it, or can't break the habit of following Bull Hancock. They stay with him. Bobby does the math instantly. 3 B-17s. 30 men. Following a dead man into a kill zone. Someone has to stop this. Someone has to make an impossible choice. And Bobby realizes, with terrible clarity, that someone might have to be him. The burning bomber turns east. 3 aircraft follow. Time is running out. At 9:23 hours, the situation reaches critical mass. Bobby watches through the cockpit window as Dakota Queen, trailing fire and smoke, leads 3 B-17s back toward the target area. The German flak batteries, surprised by bombers returning to their kill zone, waste no time. Black bursts erupt around the 4 aircraft. They're sitting ducks. Inside Lucky Strike, the intercom explodes with voices. What the hell are they doing? They're going back. Somebody stop them. Captain Larson's hands are locked on the yoke, his face a mask of anguish. The rest of the formation is reforming to the west, heading home. But those 4 bombers, 40 men, are flying east into certain death. Bobby's mind operates with crystalline clarity now, the kind that comes when there's no time for doubt. He runs through the options. Option 1. Do nothing. Let Hancock lead those crews to their deaths. 30 men who trusted their commander, who followed orders, who believed Bull Hancock was invincible. Option 2. Talk him down. But Hancock isn't responding coherently. The radio calls have become desperate, pleading. Dakota lead, turn west. Bull, you're going the wrong way. Nothing works. Option 3. Disable his aircraft. Force him to bail out or ditch. Save the 3 bombers following him. The third option requires something unthinkable. Shooting down your own leader. Bobby's hands move to the control yoke. His voice is calm, flat. Larson, give me the aircraft. What? Give me control. Now. Larson stares at him. Bobby, what are you? Those men are going to die. All of them. Hancock's gone. Hypoxia, shock, I don't know. But he's not coming back. If we don't do something in the next 60 seconds, they're all dead. You can't just. Yes, I can. Bobby's eyes are hard, focused. And I will. Let go of the yoke. For 3 seconds, Larson doesn't move. Then his hands release. God help us. Bobby keys the command frequency. Memphis Mama, this is Lucky Strike. I'm breaking formation. Don't follow. Miller's confused voice responds. Lucky Strike, what's your intention? Saving who I can. Bobby banks Lucky Strike hard to the right, breaking away from the westbound formation. He pushes the throttles forward. The 4 right Cyclone engines roar, propellers biting deeper into the thin air. The bomber accelerates. What are you doing? O'Reilly shouts from behind. Getting into position, Bobby replies. He doesn't elaborate. The B-17 closes the distance to Hancock's group. The burning Dakota Queen is easy to spot, a torch in the sky, leading the damned. The 3 bombers following are Georgia Peach, Iron Lady, and Rebel Rose. Bobby knows their crews. He's played cards with some of them. Shared cigarettes. Told jokes. Now he's about to orphan them. He positions Lucky Strike 200 yards behind and 50 feet above Dakota Queen. The burning bomber fills his windscreen. He can see the flames consuming the wing, the blackened metal, the trail of smoke streaming back. Bobby's hands are steady. His heartbeat is slow. He's entered the strange calm that comes before violence. Larson's voice is barely a whisper. Bobby, you're not really going to. Get on the radio. Tell those 3 bombers to break off immediately. Use my name. Tell them Bobby Sinclair is ordering them west. Now. Larson keys the mic. Georgia Peach, Iron Lady, Rebel Rose, this is Lucky Strike. Lieutenant Sinclair orders you to break formation immediately. Turn west. Acknowledge. Static. Then a confused voice. Lucky Strike, we're following Dakota lead. What? He's gone. Larson shouts. His oxygen is out. He doesn't know where he is. Break off now or you're all going to die. 5 seconds of silence. Then Captain Vince Cooper's voice from Georgia Peach, steady and trusting. Copy. Lucky Strike. Georgia Peach breaking west. The first bomber banks left, peeling away. Iron Lady breaking west. The second bomber follows. That leaves Rebel Rose. Bobby tries. Rebel Rose, turn west. That's an order. The pilot, Lieutenant Danny Kramer, young and stubborn and fiercely loyal to Hancock, responds with anger. I don't take orders from co-pilots. Dakota Lead is my commander. We stick with. Another flak burst, close enough to rock Rebel Rose. The bomber shudders but continues east. Bobby has 5 seconds to make the choice. He can let Kramer follow Hancock into the flak zone. Both aircraft will be destroyed. 20 men dead. Or he can do the unthinkable. Bobby's voice over the intercom is cold, dead. Top turret, this is the co-pilot. Sergeant Hughes in the top turret responds immediately. Yes, sir. Traverse your guns to 12 o'clock level. Target the burning B-17. A pause. Sir, that's Dakota Queen. I know what it is. Traverse your guns. Sir, I can't shoot at. Bobby's voice cracks like a whip. That is a direct order, Sergeant. Traverse your guns or I'll court-martial you myself. The electric motors whine as the twin .50 caliber machine guns in the top turret rotate forward. Larson grabs Bobby's shoulder. Jesus Christ, Bobby, you can't. Bobby shrugs him off. I can and I will. Hancock's already dead. He just doesn't know it. That wing's going to fold in 30 seconds. When it does, He'll cartwheel right into rebel rows. Both crews die. Unless I stop him first. He keys the turret intercom. Hughes, I need you to disable Dakota Queen's control surfaces. Rudder or elevator. One clean burst. Can you do that? Hughes' voice shakes. I think so, sir. Don't think. Do it. 3-second burst. On my mark. Bobby's hands are ice. His breath is frost. The bomber ahead is close now, the fire bright and terrible. He can see figures moving in the cockpit, Hancock at the controls, his co-pilot probably unconscious or dead. One last try. Dakota lead. This is lucky strike. Bull, if you can hear me, turn west. Please. Your wing's gone. You have to get out. Nothing. Bobby counts down. 3, 2, 1, mark. Hughes fires. The twin 50s roar. 50 caliber rounds, each one half an inch in diameter, each one capable of penetrating armor, streak across the gap. Tracers arc through the air like angry hornets. The burst lasts exactly 3 seconds. 20 rounds. 18 miss. 2 hit. The first round punches through Dakota Queen's vertical stabilizer, severing control cables. The second impacts the left elevator, tearing a jagged hole. The effect is immediate. The bomber's nose pitches down violently. Hancock, already disoriented and hypoxic, has no chance to compensate. The aircraft enters a dive. Bobby watches, numb, as the burning B-17 drops away. The fire on the wing intensifies as the dive increases airflow. The flames roar backward, engulfing the fuselage. And then the wing fails. The burning structure, weakened by fire and stress, simply folds upward. Metal shrieks. Rivets pop like gunfire. The wing separates from the fuselage in a shower of debris. Dakota Queen tumbles. Over and over, a falling star of aluminum and fire. Bobby sees one parachute deploy, maybe the ball turret gunner, maybe the tail gunner. Just one. The bomber impacts the ground 4 miles below. The explosion is visible even from altitude, a bright flash, then a pillar of black smoke. 10 men gone. Including Bull Hancock, the man who led them into hell and always brought them home. Until today. Behind Dakota Queen's falling wreckage, Rebel rose, banks hard to the west, Kramer finally understanding, finally breaking free. Bobby's voice is hollow. All aircraft, reform on Memphis Mama. Set course for home. The intercom is silent. No one speaks. The weight of what just happened presses down on them like a physical thing. Larson's hands return to the yoke, but he doesn't look at Bobby. Can't look at him. Hughes' voice from the turret barely audible. Sir, did we just? No, Bobby says quietly. I did. Not you. Not anyone else. Me. He stares straight ahead as Lucky Strike turns west. The formation reassembles. 17 B-17s remain. They head for home. Bobby Sinclair has just shot down his own commander to save 30 men. History will argue for decades whether he was a hero or a murderer. But in this moment, all Bobby feels is the terrible weight of the trigger he pulled. The sky is quiet now. The bombers turn home. But the hardest part is yet to come.